Alright, here we go. Probably seen this one before. They did a re-release of the Futuristic Tangerine IPA. Right there with the milk sugar, vanilla, and tangerine. Milk sugar is just lactose. They call these milkshake IPAs. But it's not, you know, thick or milkshake. Well, I guess it's thick. In relative terms of beers, I guess I'm not making a good point. It's not as thick as a milkshake. Like, it pours just fine. But it's kind of more chewy than a normal beer that's a little bit thinner on the mouthfeel. Alright, that was a bad start. I don't know what that was. I just got my haircut. The barber came by. Just got my haircut. I told him to take some weight off the beard. So I'm a little bit more shallower now. Today's the viewing for my grandfather. And tomorrow is the actual funeral. So we're going to try to get some high-class shaves in. Because, I don't know, when I think of my grandfather, I just think of, like, you know, the utmost respectable. And so we're going to be trying to use some very highly respected gear. This one right here, Lancaster Razor Works. The bowl, got the soap pressed inside. Of course, we're going to be using Grecian Horse from A&E/The Club. Now, when I first got this soap, it kind of had that that jet lag that that Ken from Shave 326 was talking about. He was talking about how when soaps come in from the mail, you know, they might not be at their max potential because they've been sitting on a fucking airplane or in the back of a semi or in your mailbox for an extended period of time. And he was saying maybe they need some time to sit before use. Okay, I could get on board with that, you know. It sounds logical, and I've experienced it myself. I just didn't have a term for it. So that soap jet lag made a lot of sense to me. When this one first came in, I was kind of like, meh. Day one, I was like, meh. I don't know about all this. And I think he had a similar reaction because we were talking. And he told me, you know, or I ended up telling him, you know, maybe we should wait before we give our impressions. He did his video a lot sooner than I did. I think he did his video the very next day. And he seemed to like it, you know what I mean? So apparently it improved for him. And it improved for me. I think this is a great scent. It's it is pretty classy. It's a warm scent, probably, you know, not the scent to go for spring or summer, but maybe on a little bit cooler weather, fall or winter. Of course, you can wear it whenever the hell you want, but for me, the thing that irks me about this, and I'm noticing it with a little bit more, and it might just be, you know, Peter's or, you know, A&E's signature tobacco note. You know what I mean? It's in everything. But what irks me is that I'm feeling like I'm smelling like a base scent that has been added upon. Like, and I'll give you an example. I feel like this is like part of the Asian series. And that's what I told Ken. Like the Asian plum, Asian pear. I feel like I can discern, and you know, I could be entirely wrong, but I feel like I can discern some similarities. And those similarities are kind of like a baseline the Asian plum and Asian pear. Now, obviously, this is different. Like, this isn't fruity, but there's something about it, and I think it's that warm tobacco. It just, I can smell it, I can perceive it, and when I think of it, I think of those other two soaps, you know what I mean? And not that there's anything wrong with that, because if I would have bought this before I bought Asian plum or Asian pear, you know, I may have been blown away. But now it's starting to smell familiar, and I'm kind of like, well, not so creative anymore. And it's still a great scent, but it's like a little bit of that excitement or, you know, awe is lost when I feel like I've smelt this before, you know what I mean? So, it is different. It's not like you're buying the same shit with a different label. It is different, no doubt about that. And it does smell good, no doubt about that. It's warm and gentlemanly. It's a classy scent. Definitely cologne-like, I believe. It just has that same kind of undertone that I perceive. So, maybe it doesn't bother you guys whatsoever, and it's really not a deal breaker for me either. It's just something that I appreciate. Like Ken from Shave 326 says, something that I have observed and taken note of. I appreciate it. Something that I have observed. Now, Kaizen took I think it was like 3 or 4 small additions of water that I gave it. It feels, you know, it looks very hydrated right now. I definitely could have got away with just doing 2 hydrations, but why the hell not? Why not appease the wet heads that like their lather really, really, really hydrated? And it goes on very nice. I'm using my Lancaster brush because I was talking about the scent, but I'm using my Lancaster brush. I love that fucking brush, and it's got that V1 Badger knot on it. Excuse me. Alright. I'm using the Schick Golden 500 right there. Love this razor. I got a Supply Company blade in it. It's got that long and lightweight handle. That doesn't bother me one bit. I just got a fresh cut, so I'm going to try to follow his line. As I don't want to fuck it up. He kind of established a new line when he took that weight off my beard, which is fine. Just got to be mindful of it. Hold on a second. I think my mom's here. Alright, I'm back. Same thing. That was just my mom. I knew she was coming. I just didn't know how much time I had. She brought some fresh fruit from one of the little Hispanic shops over here. Kind of like berries and cream type thing. Good stuff. So, I figured I would use the Schick because this is my favorite razor right here, the Schick Golden 500. Smooth. It always gets the job done for me. Always a pleasure to use. I love the feel that it has and the shaves that it always gives me. So the Kaizen base is undoubtedly, you know, a really good performer. I think you'd be hard-pressed to make a case otherwise. I just don't, you know, fangirl out over it because I don't think that it's leaps and bounds better than the previous base. It is an improvement. I just think it's kind of minimal. And, you know, that's kind of where the people get really worked up about that when they you know, go behind something saying that it's, you know, the next best thing, and then someone comes in and says, well, it's good. They're like, what do you mean it's good? You know, it's still a compliment. Settle down. All right. So that was a very smooth first pass. I do enjoy the scent, though. It is a nice scent. And I love that fucking Lancaster brush that was gifted to me. Fucking love it. Andre, you're a badass. Now, Peter, his aquatic should be dropping today. The one that he did with the famous artist. Or world-renowned artist, I don't know. Never heard of him. I do like the artwork, though. It's kind of abstract, I think. That's what you would call it. Abstract. And, it is a very nice label. Very artsy. But I look forward to seeing, you know, Peter's take on an aquatic. It's funny because I think in his scent description he mentioned, like, the, like, Amalfi region in the Mediterranean. Which is funny because I think Moon Soap's Sorrento, which is also kind of like a citrus aquatic, also mentioned the Amalfi region in the Mediterranean, if my memory serves me correctly. So I wonder if they're going to have any similarities, or if they're going to be kind of two different takes on the same region. Alright, pass two. So it says it's releasing today. I didn't see a time given, but I checked this morning when I was buying Talbot from West Coast Shaving, which also released today. They had a double release, so hopefully everybody who wanted some got some. And I was hoping to pick up, you know, A&E's aquatic as well. I'm a big fan of aquatics. But it's listed on the shop site, but it's not available for sale yet. It says sold out, which I think that's just a placeholder. Or maybe it's truly sold out. I don't know. Hopefully I could score some of that. And hopefully Peter doesn't usually do limited runs, so hopefully it'll be around if I missed out on this first wave. This is probably going to be a pretty rough one today and tomorrow because of all that I have going on. But we'll get through it. Stay strong for all the family. It's got to be, you know, small amount of people because of the corona and all the, you know, you can't gather and all that. So it's going to be, you know, a somewhat small memorial, but very intimate nonetheless. Alright, let's get this off the face. We got ourselves a pretty good shave. Yesterday I did that by the fireplace, the fire pit lit shave, and I didn't have a mirror, but when I looked in the, when I came into my bathroom and looked in the mirror after the video and after the shave, I actually did a pretty good job. It wasn't the closest shave I ever had, but it was, I didn't like fuck up the beard or anything like that. It was pretty, I did a pretty good job for having no mirror. Just, you know, my phone's camera, but it was really far away from me, so I really couldn't see either. So, I did a pretty good job. I was impressed with myself. Just muscle memory and technique. And, decent soap. So I probably should bust out the, straight razor that I used yesterday so you guys could get a load of it. Since yesterday you couldn't really see that well, the straight razor that Marion gave me. Also, I'll probably be busy tonight, but I'll catch the replay, but So Sharp David Gonzalez and Chris Bailey from IMCDB, they're doing their Instagram duel live. And I think it was 5 p.m. Eastern time. So, sometime in the afternoon they're doing it. So I encourage you guys to check that out because those are always fun and interesting. Alright, well I got most of it anyways. So, whew, that was good stuff. So we got the matching splash right here, Grecian horse. Cool little label. Got the nice restrictor on top, pretty classy packaging as always. We're going to pour out of the back. There's the front, we're going to pour out of the back, just in case. They're waterproof labels, but it's better to be safe than sorry. You fuck up your label because of the alcohol content or whatever. And then you'd be stuck with a funky looking shave of the day shot. Get a little bit more for the neck. Peter's aftershaves have always been some of my favorite aftershaves. It still has alcohol, but it has a nice skin food as well. I'll just put the residual on my forearms. And then I'll probably be using some Prada black, Prada Luna Rossa black later. Love this stuff. Probably be wearing that to the viewing, since this aftershave probably will be a lot less potent by the time that rolls around. So anyhow, there it is. Grecian horse from Annie. A good scent, a somewhat familiar scent, at least in those bass notes or heart notes. But good scent. Kaizen, great performance. Love the shop, love Peter, love the club. So, good stuff. Got the Lancaster bowl there. Lancaster, of course, I've been mentioning to you guys. Lancaster's having a drop. It's having a drop tomorrow. Let's see if I wrote it down. I wrote it down a couple days ago on my release calendar because I'm such a shaving degenerate. I have more shaving releases than I do paydays on my calendar. So it says Saturday the 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, just so you know. And I'm such a fool. I got so much on my mind I didn't even use my Lancaster towel today. Anyhow, we also use the Schick Golden 500. My absolute favorite razor. I just love the way it shaves, the way it looks. I love everything about it. So, got a nice cut today. I feel good. Gonna have some heavy shit tonight and tomorrow, so the least I could do is smell good and look good and feel good. So, alright. Well, I hope you guys have a good weekend, and once again, thank you to everybody who's reached out and shown support, you know, for me in this somewhat, you know, rough time for me. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everybody who supports my videos and everybody who's reached out to just check in on me. I appreciate that. So that's what this fucking community is about. So cheers to that. Fuck it. Thanks, guys.